Hello, welcome back to this Sew in 20 series. In case you hadn't figured out from the fact that this video is very different to all the others, unfortunately there's going to be a brief pause in proceedings on this project. I did not get it finished in time for my holiday. In fact, I've pre-filmed all this footage right the way back in May, and my holiday was at the end of May. And the decision on my part to stop working on this project was very deliberate, not just because the whole point of the project was to sew in 20-minute chunks, and there was no way it would be finished if I carried on doing it like that. I didn't want to compromise that aspect of it. But I don't know if you've watched the last two videos. I was getting very frustrated and I was starting to make mistakes, and I came to the realization that I had been overdoing it and I needed to stop, particularly if I wanted to rest enough to be able to enjoy my holiday. You know, what was the point of me trashing my health in the week before my first holiday in a very long time for the sake of a raincoat that I didn't actually need because it wasn't forecast to rain that weekend? So I made the decision to be sensible, to halt the project, rest and recuperate and take care of myself in advance of my holiday. I went on my holiday, had a lovely time, and I knew I would be taking June off from making videos because I had a lot of other projects on. I volunteer with a theatre company locally, and there was a big show planned, and I knew I would need to take time off to be able to focus on that. So my plan had always been, okay, May, come back from holiday, take June off, do the theatre project, and in July I'll finish the Cape and I'll make sure all these videos are ready to go in August. And I thought, oh, I'll do this experiment with these daily uploads and see how it goes. Of course, what I hadn't anticipated, or what I hadn't factored in, was the impact that the big theatre project would have on my health and the amount of time I would need to spend recovering. So most of July, I was unable to do any work, and it was only in the last few weeks of July that I was even able to edit all those videos, and I certainly wasn't able to sew. So I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll upload what I have, I'll edit what I have, and I'll upload what I have, and then I'll schedule them, and in August I'll start the sewing, and then hopefully if they're a bit sporadic at the end of August, it won't matter. Unfortunately, my health had other ideas. I didn't have a great start to August physically. Mentally I was okay to edit the videos and do everything, but physically I was starting to get a lot of pain and unexplained sort of symptoms like that. And then this past week I have injured my back, supposedly from sitting around and lying down too much. And I am now, I've managed to get an appointment with a doctor. He's like, yeah, you've thrown your back out essentially. And I'm on very strong painkillers, and I'm not in a good way. Let's put that, mentally or physically currently, because the painkillers help, but don't eliminate the pain. But as with a lot of drugs, they also come with a lot of side effects, which I am now trying to manage. Most of which are, for me, mental. Fog, confusion. Goodness knows what this video is going to be like. So yes, it also, and it's one of those things, the painkillers say on the packet, do not operate machinery. And I suppose a sewing machine technically could be classed as machinery. So I haven't been able to do any more on this Cape project. And it's sort of embarrassing to admit it, but here we are. I do want to carry on with it. I wish to be clear. This is not over. I will carry on with this at some point when my health allows. And I do think this 20-minute burst system works. I think I've been amazed personally, looking back on the footage, how effective it has been. And I've also been so grateful for all your comments that have been giving me useful tips and insights, but also if you just think that this might help you when you've tried it or you've been inspired to try it, that's made doing this worthwhile for me, so thank you for that. It's just, I think what I did previously was combine the sewing in 20-minute chunks with a pressure deadline, which meant that even when I didn't feel very well, I still made myself sew when I shouldn't have. There's several videos where I'm like, I haven't slept, I feel awful, but I've got to do this sewing. And that was a mistake on my part. I shouldn't have done that. I should have been able to say, I'm not well enough, you need to rest, love. Even if it's only 20 minutes, today is not the day. So I will definitely continue to use this system. I just don't know whether going forward, given the abrupt stop and the fact that it was building to this deadline, which now has no payoff, I don't know whether these daily video uploads will continue. I might sort of condense them. I don't know. or at least they won't be daily. It will be, I've done another bit on the Cape, I've done another bit on the Cape. And so I don't know whether I want to intersperse things throughout that. All of this currently is hypothetical because I'm really not well enough to do anything. So I don't want to apologise because I don't feel like I have to apologise for being disabled. But I understand if you're disappointed. I would just like to say I too am disappointed about the fact that this series did not go the way I intended it to. And I just wanted to say thank you for your support on it. It's been really lovely to see, as much as I've struggled to keep up with reading the comments and replying coherently. So if you've had a slightly weird reply from me, which is sort of like a little bit wacky, let's say, or like a little bit deliberately provocative, like lol, I'm sorry, it's the medicine. But I do really appreciate your comments and your support on this series, and I just wanted to reassure you that it will be back. I will be back to do this. I just don't know when yet. Okay, I think that's enough. Thanks for watching. See you next time.